go over here. Are the talks finished? Sounds like the meeting is over. Guess so. So... anything? How'd it go?
Oh, you there, young man.
Yes, sir.
You're Reen Schwarzer, correct?
Yes, that's me. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Yes, that's right. I'm honored to make your acquaintances.
As am I. Stories of the Ashton Chevalier have certainly made their rounds across Calvin.
I could imagine.
Though I suppose not all of those stories paint you in the best light.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable. However, I hear you single-handedly destroyed a number of our tanks and gunships without killing those within. It was quite a feat, which spiked my curiosity. I see now why Lady Mildine, Princess Alphen, and General Le Guin hold you in such high esteem. Thank you for the compliments. Please accept my apologies about your tanks. It was nothing personal. You've also played a part in the Northern War, didn't you? Referia and Northumbria have been on friendly terms for quite a long time. It pains me greatly we could not do anything to help them. Your involvement contributed to a significant reduction in casualties among their citizens, though. You give me too much credit. I wasn't acting alone. No need to be so humble. I heard stories about you from refugees who fled to Remeferia when Northumbria was incorporated into the Erebonian Empire. Haha, modesty is a fine trait, but it starts to grate when people downplay their achievements. Acknowledge your importance. You're the person whose actions may very well decide the fate of the world, after all. There's still plenty of time until dinner. If you'd like to chat some more, I'll be in my room. Since the acting Duke Albaret and the fellow in the inspectorate are here, why not invite them along as well? I've already informed them. I will also be retiring to my room until dinner. Feel free to come see me if you wish. I'd like to speak with Lloyd too. I'll go and tell him. And off they go. More speaking?
I was wondering when we'd finally get the chance to meet.
Sir. Cassius? Yes. Hello, sir. Lieutenant General Bright. I've heard much about you from Master Kafai. I don't think I've ever had the chance to introduce myself to you either, Your Highness. I am Reen Schwarzer, son of Baron Theo Schwarzer and disciple of the 8 Leaves One Blade School. I'm currently work as an instructor for Thor's Military Academy's branch campus. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintances.
Oh, no. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you.
Oh, Your Highness, please. The pleasure is mine. Trust me.
In a way, this feels closer to a reunion than a first meeting.
Huh?
Perhaps it's due to all the tales I've heard about you from Tita and Josette.
Oh.
And from Prince Olivert as well.
I'm honored to hear that. What happened to Olivert was truly heartbreaking. He had his grand vision, you see. It wasn't only with Erebonia's best interest in mind, but those of the entire continent. Yes, he was a great man. Victor and Toval were good friends of mine as well. Their deaths had dealt a heavy blow to Erebonia. I'd even say it was felt by the whole continent. But now we must carry on without them. Even if that involves committing to something they would most certainly would have never approved of. Huh? If you'd like, why don't you stop by to chat for a bit before dinner? Cassius, you wanted to talk to Estelle, didn't you? Yes, and the others as well. Ren, Tita, Agate. Please do come along, Reen. We could reminisce about Master Kai-Fi together. I'll definitely stop by. Alright, who else is coming down?
Oh, Reen! There you are!
Hey, Your Highness. Everybody's just coming down to greet us, okay. A very important celebrity, apparently. Hello, Princess Elfin. Are you alright? Of course. I was a little shocked about the topics of discussion, but I suppose it's all good we were able to talk about all those pressing issues. Princess. I see. I'm sorry I couldn't reveal the intended scale when I invited you, Princess. I trust you understand this was an inevitable reality. Your presence here was of the utmost importance. Yes, I'm well aware of my responsibilities. Well, neither father nor my brother is available. It befalls to me to represent the Imperial family and remain informed of the current situation. Would you be so kind to share some of that information with us at dinner? That's the plan. We could use more input on the matters at hand. We'll all be cooperating, of course. Bracers, the special sports section, and representatives of the stores should make their voices heard too. We'll need to know where they intend to position themselves between Operations Jormungandr and Mille Mirage. Oh. Dinner won't be served for a while, though. Princess Elfin, Elise, why don't you join me for tea? You may join us as well, Instructor, but the topic of discussion will most likely not interest you, given how easily you embarrass. I can never tell if you're joking, Muse, but tea sounds good to me. Yes, count me in too. Oh, maybe Claudia can join us. Yes, I'll extend an invitation to her. Instructor Reem, will you be coming? Please do. If you insist. I'll see you in a bit. Alright. Goodbye, Reem. And now I imagine you're going to talk to everyone else. Yeah, I could imagine as well. There's still some time to chat with the attendees before dinner. I might want to speak with the President and Prince Albert. There's Lieutenant General Bright too. There's a lot of people have moved to new locations. The main story will progress once you see the required sub-events. Some optional content will become unavailable once you progress the story. Okay. Alright, let's then if the red one, let's go here. Someone is talking on the other side of the door. Wowzers, an exclusive interview like this sure makes my day. What are your thoughts on the developments since the trade conference 2 years ago? And what's your take on the recent incidents in the Principality?
I've answered those questions before for Ardent Press before.
Grace, was it? Listen, Grace, it's all very well that you're so motivated, but you should think your questions through beforehand. Somehow it hurts that much more being told off by a stunningly beautiful woman.
Sounds like they're in the middle of a spirited conversation. Anyway, let's visit the Libero waiting room for now.
This one? President Rocksmith, in your opinion, how's the prognosis for Calvert looking?
Not too bad, I'd say, for now. Lady Mildene's sharp intellect is truly something to be feared, isn't it? The situation being as it is, I'm determined to see things through to my end.
President Rocksmith.
What the new party does with the country once it's in their hands, though, I really couldn't say.
I might have some information that could be of interest to you.
Rocksmith's term is nearly over. I should interrupt their conversation. I'll come back a bit later.
Guess we're going for this one. Alright. Get me no choice. Chloe, how are you? I'm well, thanks. Haven't seen you in 3 months. Good to see you again, Joshua, Ren. And you guys. Been a while.
Tita and I saw you in Grand Seoul before we set off for Erebonia.
I'm so happy to see you again.
It was the same for us, but we headed to Calvert instead.
How's the Queen? Very well, thanks for asking after her. She couldn't have tended with all the attention around her right now. That's why she sent me in her stead. I see. She needs someone trustworthy to represent her. But if these talks are so crucial, why didn't Julia and Zeke come too? I imagine some urgent matters kept them busy. Zeke hardly has a moment to spare working as a messenger.
I see.
Based off that, I suppose I have an idea of what's going on. Yeah.
I doubt people are just making small talk over tea and biscuits in there.
Can you share anything with us, Dad?
We haven't seen each other in half a year and it's straight to business with neither hello nor hug. I suppose a father can't hope for love and affection from his daughters once she's left the nest and become independent.
Don't guilt trip me for not being all sugary sweet. You seem well, anyway.
You too, Sunshine. Joshua, everything alright?
Yes, all's going well. So, you're Chloe's bodyguard today, Dad? Oh, don't tell me that's all you're here for. I won't believe it.
Well, have some patience. Everything will be revealed soon enough. Ren, did you get taller? You've grown a lot since I last saw you.
I'm only taller by 5 reg, so 5 inches, I believe. I'll catch up with Tita at this rate. No, please don't. It took me so long to stop looking like a kid. You still look like one.
Don't worry, Tita. You're still growing. You're only 16? Estelle had just joined the Bracers when she was your age.
It feels like it was only yesterday we were traveling around Liberal together. I was a Sky Bandit back then. You might be older now, Estelle, but you're just as happy-go-lucky as ever, I see. That's not the worst thing in the world, is it? As for you, Josette, even growing up, you've never lost that little urchin attitude. It's part of my personal identity, you see?
Tita, have you been making a name for yourself? Your grandfather had nothing but praise for you. Apparently, though, your mom worries about you a lot, like always.
She's just a worrywart. I write her a lot to let her know I'm fine. I already messaged her to tell her everything's okay.
She mentioned something about Aga getting his comeuppance next time she sees him too. She says she was drafting a new research project involving human test subjects. What?
Mom! It's like the good old times again. That reminds me, Estelle, did you see Zen when you were in Calvert? I did. It was just before I came to Arabonia. He asked me to pass a message to him, to my dad and a few others.
How brilliant! They've got lots to talk about. I don't want to interrupt their fun. I should come back later. Spotted! Never mind.
Oh, hello, Instructor Reen. Reen, sorry, we're so caught up in catching up. We didn't mean to exclude you.
Don't be shy, boy. Come and join us. Sure, if you don't mind. And they talk the night away, right? You're not gonna make me talk to them again, right? Please? Okay. Just a little cutscene of them talking. It's good that everybody's just catching up. It's so heartwarming. Everybody just sharing their stories, catching up, families together again. Ren teasing Estelle like always. You seem to be enjoying yourself. That's no surprise when good friends get together. They bonded during the orbital shutdown phenomenon. It's regrettable Oliver is no longer with us, and Scherzar has gone missing as well. Regardless, we must stay focused on what's ahead of us and try to remain optimistic. Wise words. By the way, I'm happy to see you, Reen. Master Kafai has been telling me about you. This young man has even more potential than you, Cassius. I'm sure that's not true. He must have been teasing you. Besides, there's so many complicating factors now. Oh, are you speaking about your background? I've heard of it. I'm aware of the cause of your altered appearance too. Don't worry too much about it, which you can't change, Reen. And by the way, I got a letter about you a month ago. A certain man on an eastward journey. You don't mean Master Kafai? But I was still in prison then. Yes, so I hear. Hardly enough, it was foretold in the letter. Whether it was prophecy or just a wild guess, I cannot tell. Oh, Master Ka-Fi. A frighteningly accurate prediction. What was the letter about exactly? That's the thing, Reen. In light of the current situation, I'm afraid I cannot tell you yet. Huh? It's not the right time nor place. But to give you a rough idea, it's about the final art of our school of swordsmanship. In this time of turbulence, become that flashing blade which illuminates the darkness, even if for the briefest moment. Once I have returned from the east, and we have reunited, I shall impart to you my final teachings. The arts our master taught me include Helix and Void, but Urine may go even beyond that. Of course, you understand that seeking mastery of our style will be most difficult. Of course, with the way I am now, I'm not confident I could ever achieve it. But you're right, this isn't the place to discuss it. Just keep in mind, we'll come back to it later. I'll relay our master's message for you once the circumstances are right. We've yet to see where today's talks lead to. But a time of great determination and sacrifice are needed and no doubt to come. I'll be ready for it.
They got on like a house on fire. Yeah, you couldn't tell they only just met.
Having something unique in common, like their fighting style, brings people together. I'm feeling a bit jealous now.
Looks like we're the outsiders. I totally get that though. Agate, are you feeling left out too?
Nah, why would I care?
Excuse me for butting in, I'm from Crossbell News. Could you please spare some time for a really quick interview?
Get out.
Here, Grace. Serious about your job, I see.
I bet Niall and Dorothy gave you their list of questions for the attendees too. Cassis and Claudia agreed to the interview. And the others excused themselves to give them some privacy. Oh, that's another combination. Everyone's been moving around. There's still some time to chat with the attendees before dinner. People move to new locations again? Come on! The main story will progress once you see the required sub-events. Some optional content will become unavailable once you progress in the story. Oh my god, what is this madness? Why? Why? This reminds me of that this episode is just gonna be this. Oh my lord. This is insane. I'm going here again. My lord. It's gonna be an hour and something just about this.
Claudia, I'm terribly sorry about earlier. I was so taken aback, I lost my composure. Thank you for being so kind to me. Of course, considering the subject, it was no wonder you became agitated. You have a huge responsibility on your shoulders as a representative of the Imperial family. Thank you for being so understanding. Now that rings alarm bells. I'll just wait for the announcement at dinner and try not to worry about now for now, but please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Estelle Bright, a member of the Liberal Bracer Guild. It's a great honor to meet you in person, Princess Alphen. There's no need to be so formal with me. I've heard so much about you from my brother. I feel like we're already friends. Olivier was a dear friend, and what happened to him was a terrible shock. He went out of his way to get permission for me and Joshua to visit Hamel once things had settled down in Liberal. I still can't believe he's dead. It's awful and I really wish I could have done something. If only one of us had been at Heimdall at the time. Me, Joshua, or Shara? But our grief surely pales in comparison with what you feel. Estelle, thank you for having been a good friend to my brother. I feel a little better knowing there were people who cared so much about him. Oliver was a very thoughtful and brave man, and a lot of fun to be around. When I was hesitant about whether to accept my duty as a crown princess, he gave me the push I needed. He also fostered friendly relations between Ereboni and Liberal. Despite his airhead appearance, he was a smart leader. Thank you, Claudia. You teased me for being so easily moved to tears. You come out with a line like, at such time as this, I'd like you to be a ray of sunshine which makes courage bloom. That does sound like him. Regrettably, I never had a chance to meet Prince Oliver in person. However, I heard about him encouraging greater integration and cooperation between all nations of the continent. Please accept my sincere condolences, Princess Alphen. Thank you, Lucy. By the way, you were Claudia's upperclassman at school, weren't you? Really? Oh my gosh. Actually, Chloe did tell us about that lecture person before. Does that mean... That's correct. I went to Liberal to study at Janus Royal Academy. I was in the student council together with Lector Arundel. You two looked after me well back then. It made my school life that much more enjoyable. What a small... what a small world. He's an Ironblood and a member of the Intelligence Division. He's a stranger person than I thought. But wait, the famous beautiful vice president who'd force the student council president to listen to her no matter what? That be me. Chloe, I wish you didn't spread exaggerated rumors about me. Sorry, but they're not exaggerated at all. Even now I can't forget you saying that brute force is the most important asset one can have. You're embarrassing me now. Wait, did I really say that to you? Not directly. I overheard your conversation with Hans. So you were following me around and listening to my own conversations with other students? I wouldn't have guessed they knew each other so well. Oliver was so beloved by people from different backgrounds. It's a real shame he died so young. I'd be curious to hear more about Claudia and Lucy's school life too. Now Lecter stands at the opposite sides of his former classmates. I'm sure I'll cross paths with him again, and with Claire too. Yeah. Lecter and Claire. Oh, I get to talk to them again. Sorry, Reen, we're talking amongst ourselves again and leaving you out. I can get going and free up some space. No, please don't leave on my account. You haven't seen each other in a while. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. Getting to exchange a few words with you in person has already been a great honor. With luck, we'll meet again and have a long chat then. You're too humble, Reen. Indeed. That reminds me, weren't you one of the testers for the Orbital Communication Network? I also got a test account from Ren. What would you say in exchanging network addresses? Are you sure? Why not? Don't be shy. Princess Claudia doesn't limit her circle friends to the upper classes. When she enrolled the academy, she did so under an assumed name in order to be treated like a normal girl. Lucy, I don't need a spokesperson. Okay, in that case, I'll gladly give you my network address. It shouldn't become a diplomatic issue if we're just playing a game together. I hope. You can now play Palm against Princess Claudia. Oh, great. Well, I'll talk to you guys when I finish beating her.
My sincerest
Yes!
congratulations.
Fuck you, man. I did this like 13 times. Oh my god, I wanna cry. Fuck you. Oh, that was so annoying. Next room.
Thank you for the invitation, President Rocksmith.
There's no need to be so tense in my presence, Machias. Would you like a cup of coffee?
There's tea for me, and coffee with milk and sugar for Miss Herschel. Boasting Calvert's information agency is staffed with only the very elite. Well, their human resources are going to change now, as the new party takes over for me. Is that right? Toa Herschel, we met at the West Lemuria Trade Conference 2 years ago, isn't that right? If my memory doesn't fail me, you had coffee with milk and sugar at the banquet. Your memory is excellent. That's Samuel Rocksmith, the president of Calvert. As with most people in power, he easily dominates the atmosphere with his presence. Even though he's on the way out, he's still a very influential man. Double talking like always. My, welcome Ashton Chevalier. Unfortunately, I haven't been informed what your beverage of choice might be. But since you're so well versed in Eastern culture, perhaps green tea would be to your liking? Oh, thank you, but I dropped in only for a brief chat. I wouldn't want to make a nuisance of myself. I imagine there are plenty others who'd like to speak with you today. By the way, I asked for your opinion on your colleague, Toa Herschel. Wouldn't you say that her conflict resolution talents are perfect for CID?
President Rocksmith? I didn't see that coming.
I heard you were bold, sir, but I never thought you'd suggest something quite that bold. I'm nowhere near as audacious as the Chancellor. Soon I won't have much authority anymore. However, I really can't stand seeing young talent not being put to good use. It's quite fortunate we met today. If you have any gifted friends who might be inclined to move to Calvert, let me know. I'll gladly welcome them with open arms. Sorry, no one comes to mind.
You're really not one to beat around the bush.
He really isn't, apparently. Jeez, at least that was done quickly. Alright, next people here.
Hey, Reen.
Don't be a stranger. Come and join us. What have you guys been talking about? Jaeger troop movements and stuff related to the war.
As well as Ouroboros' presumed plans.
Huh, I've been wondering about those things too. Right now, it looks like they're both serving Imperial government, just like the gnomes. That's really nasty mix, if you'd ask me. The old Northern Jaegers and Nidhogg are in a different situation, though. Yeah, the Imperial Defense Force forced them to cooperate using hostages. They're currently looking for a chance to free them. What they do from now on depends on whose pocket they find themselves in this time. Shirley's a key member of the Red Constellation, so you can be sure they're in tune with Ouroboros' schemes. As for Zephyr, the gnomes hire them, but it's ultimately up to the boss to decide what they do. I don't know the details yet. There's a lot of enhanced Jaegers like the troops previously commanded by the Faceless Anguis. You encountered those in Hamel. Between all of you, you've got a decent intelligence network to draw on. You make for a really good team. Yeah. And if there's any info we don't have, the Divine Blade and Golden Rock Shasa are here too.
It's hard to believe Muse managed to get all these guys under one roof.
That's true. That really is true.
Hey guys. It's been a long time since we last met. We haven't had the chance to speak since the trade conference 2 years ago. It's nice to see you again.
And you. I'm glad you all seem to be doing well. Lady Mildine, it's also the first time in many years that I have the pleasure to talk to with you. While I wouldn't call these ideal circumstances, I'm delighted you're a most impressive young lady now.
You flatter me. It's good to have time to chat about non-official affairs, yes? So, you've known each other for a while? Prince Albert was a good friend of my late father.
Yes, we met for the first time over a decade ago. Somehow, Alfred and I got on fabulously well from there on start. We talk about politics, economics, and social issues from evening till the early morning hours. The lakes and marshes of Remiferia enchanted Alfred, and he often bring his family there.
This takes me back. I was just a little girl back then, but I vaguely remember our visits. I mostly played with your niece. She was the same age as me, I believe. I like to see her again.
That's right. You two really liked each other, didn't you?
Speaking of your niece,
Oh, that's right. I haven't seen her in ages.
there have been some rumors going around about her.
She's become an intractable lately. As her uncle, I want to protect her, but she's certainly not making it easy. Sometimes I think she does it just to spite me. He's gotten really grumbly.
He must care a lot about his knee, though he seems a bit overprotective. Oh, he's always been like this.
Apologies for the discretion. I didn't mean to bore you with family issues. Our fair will gladly provide you with assistance, be it human resources or medical services. If the SSS need anything, do not hesitate to let me know. Tio, I'm aware of your family situation. If there's anything I can do.
Thank you for the kind offer. It isn't as bad now, though. We've even been keeping in touch more.
That's a relief. Prince Albert is a friendly guy, and Mise's known him for a long time. Looks like she made connections early on. I should say hello to the prince too. Or not, never mind. Okay. That was weird. Weird for people here.
Oh! I spy my little eye, Elise Schwarzer, Princess Alphen's trusted friend and sister of the Ashton Chevalier. You're friends with Lady Mildine too, aren't you? We need to talk. If you have any questions about my friends, I'd rather you talk to them directly. I'm no gossip. Oh, I wouldn't try to drag out any embarrassing stories about your friends. Nothing of the sort.
You're a reporter from Crossbell? So she's your next target on your hunt for a big scoop?
Don't make me sound like some fierce predator. The only thing ferocious about me is my intellect. Hold on. Aren't you Ash Carbide? The guy who shot the Emperor? What's the truth behind the story? How did it feel to pull the trigger?
Oh crap. What did I get myself into now?
Oh my gosh. And the tall gentleman? Is that the 8th dominion of the Girls Ritter? There are several topics I'd love to interview you in depth about. Not that I'm totally about what you've been up to. Wazy, Kevin, and Reese have already spilled some beans.
Did they?
Don't be shy. I don't bite. Much.
Seems like this is the party corner.
Brilliant. Here comes the hero to join us. This is perfect. Let's go. That empty room over there so we can all talk in private.
I'm not against an interview myself, but I'd much rather you didn't hound my friends and family for one.
Sorry. I got a little ahead of myself there, I guess. But is there anything you could tell me that I could quote in my report? Maybe just a short comment from each of you?
That's not unreasonable, sure. Dude, speak for yourself. What if I gave her dirt on you?
You're not being a little overprotective. You're being a little overprotective.
Typical Reem, really.
Party corner's done.
All that's left is these 4 rooms.
And the middle, obviously.
Who's in here? Hey, girls.
Hi, I'm Kia Bannings. Ren told me lots about you, Tita. Nice to meet you. I'm Tita Russell. I can't believe it, Ren. She's so cute. Yeah, that's how most people react to her. You must be Angelica Ragnar. Nice to meet you. I'm Ren Bright.
Oh boy, here we go.
Huh? I hear you've been trained in the Taito style by Kilika Roren. Oh, that's cool. It's nice to meet you, Angie. Or do you like Jellica better? This is paradise. What? Angelica, are you alright? We're only 2,000 Arj above ground, but it seems we're flying close to the heavens. Tita alone is an angel, but the 3 of you together form an angelic choir. No, remain calm, Angelica.
Celine, what's going on here?
Beats me. I was just taking a nap and woke up to this. Yeah, I can't stand it anymore.
Jellica?
Angelica? She's faster than lightning. Hug attack! Squeeze! My life is complete. You're just going to stand by and watch this happen, huh, Rin?
I'm just waiting for things to calm down so I can say hello. Yeah. Goodbye. Hello and goodbye. Hey! Talk. I'm like, talk, and then just leaves.
Cassius, how have you been? When was it we last saw each other?
Goodness, 4 years at least. I'm sorry I missed your A-rank promotion ceremony.
Coincided with the orbital shutdown phenomenon, so there was no helping it. Thank you for writing my recommendation.
You're welcome. Have you managed to come to terms with Cardinal Valentine passing away?
Yes, I've been lucky to be surrounded by good, supportive friends from the Bracer Guild and my wonderful students. Laura is one of my students. Kurt's a student of a student. I'm Laura Arcade. You, sir, are a legend. It is truly an honor to meet you in person.
I'm very glad to meet you too, Laura. I had a pleasure working with Victor on the Bracer Guild branch bombing case. He praised you highly. Please accept my sincere sympathy. His loss must have hurt you deeply.
Thank you, sir. My father once told me that seeing your prowess with the staff firsthand would be a beneficial experience for me. I believe you were self-taught?
Not quite. I learned the basics from a friend. Also took the liberty of incorporating teachings of the 8-leaf school into it.
I'm very impressed, sir. Only those who are very talented are able to do so. Kurt, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes.
I'm Kurt Vander, younger brother of Mueller Vander and nephew of Zex Vander.
Pardon me, sir. You're quite the hero. I feel a bit overwhelmed. Take it easy. I'm not all they say about me. I've met your brother and uncle, but I don't believe I've ever spoken to your father. When things calm down a little, I like to pay a visit to your folks. I fear I've been rather impolite not having done so yet.
Oh, not at all. I'm sure my mother and father will be thrilled to meet you.
Cassius has a lot of connections both in the army and among the bracers. I could spend the whole evening talking to him about swordplay, but it'd be rude to monopolize him like that. I'll relay your master's message for you once the circumstances are right. At a time of great determination and sacrifice are needed is no doubt to come.
I'll have to be patient. Oh, I get to talk to them again. Oh, Reen. Yeah, come and join us.
Don't mind if I do. By the way, was a silver streak an acquaintance of yours, Cassius?
Shara.
Yes, she was a pupil of mine at the guild. It's very odd that she's vanished into thin air.
Yes, no one seems to be able to track down her whereabouts. If she wasn't at the gnome's headquarters, could it be possible that Ouroboros abducted her?
No. Shara has a relative who's among the ranks of Ouroboros. I find it hard to believe they'd kidnap her.
I think I know who you mean. Charizard mentioned her to me when we went out drinking. Enforcer number 6. No, 6. The Bewitching Bell, yes?
Duvalie.
Yep, that's her. She showed up in Liberal during the Ober shutdown too. But she's unknown whether she's still alive. Seems she hasn't reported back to Ouroboros since that incident. They haven't written her off as dead yet though. Assume the situation is similar to Blancs, that she's out there somewhere going about her business. The Silver Streak was like a sister to her though. She wouldn't keep quiet if Ouroboros had abducted her. I see.
We might as well drop that line of investigation. My, if it isn't the Star Ridder's Duvalie the Swift. You seem very well informed.
I could say the same about you, especially considering you don't have ties with Ouroboros yourself. I understand now why the Faces was remarkably wary of you. My lord is also intrigued by you.
If you don't mind, I'd like to hear how you achieved mastery in so many disciplines.
Oh?
Swordplay, military arts, strategy. And I hear your master's disciple, Arios, is just like you.
Yes, I've heard the rumors about him.
Just for reference, if you could tell us if there's any particular trick to it. Not that it impresses me all that much, but both you and our Sade were renowned as the finest swordsman alive, so it must count for something.
I can't think of many honors greater than the Maiden of Legend herself taking an interest in me. Well, ask me anything. I'll try to satisfy your curiosity, although we may not be able to go into much detail this time.
That's fine. First of all, why did you give it the sword and switch the staff? It will be so easy to read.
That's part of her charm. She's polite and everyone doesn't look down on others even if they're her enemy.
As a Spectre of the Steel Maiden's disciple, I looked up to her as well.
Alright. This group.
Have there been any updates on Hercules? We're still unable to locate them with the Ramda's stealth function and mobility of the gunship. They're very hard to track down. We're not going to give up, of course.
I heard you requested the Bracers Guild help with this?
Yes, although they haven't been able to dig up any new information since we lost sight of Hercules in the canyon. I heard about that from the guild too. I guess when a special forces squad equipped with the latest technology wants to disappear, it'd take a miracle to track them down. The Ramda. We've seen firsthand in Heimdall how its partial projecting future function can seriously impede pursuit. If they'd only surrender, there'd be room for negotiations with Arabonia. But maybe the curse has progressed too far for that. The Dark Dragon made its members of the Hercules squad into its kin back in Heimdall. The Great Twilight must have taken that and twisted them into Noct Familia. Noct Familia? Those vampires from Arabonia folklore, if I'm not mistaken. Is there any way to make them human again? It's possible if you act quickly. If you find them within a few days, they should be fine. So that's our time frame.
Kayla, let me know if you pick up their trail. I might be able to help in some capacity.
You're volunteering to help? That's much appreciated.
You're welcome. Alright, these 4. Hey, Schwarzer. Hey, guys. You're discussing armed forces movements on different fronts. Rosine, I'm surprised to see you with them.
I've got my reasons.
As you overheard, we're trying to get a better picture of where each military faction is allocating its resources. Besides the Weisland army, I wanted to check in with the bracers and armor divisions too.
I've also been looking into the armor division's movements. It seems they've established a new squad.
The guild's also keeping an eye on the situation. We're tracking high-ranking Jaeger Corps movements and gauging the neighboring countries' responses. It'd be helpful to trade info with you guys. I see. And you're also gathering intel on military movements, Rosine?
As a matter of fact, yes. There's no organization that understands and fears the Great Twilight more than the Septian Church. The details are confidential, but we've already decided on which measures to take.
Seriously?
I can only imagine what that means.
Well, I'll benefit from cooperating. But in any case, we'll return to Operation Mille Mirage at dinner. For now, let's just take a break.
Sounds like a plan.
Can't wait to hear the details of the operation, but I've got to be patient. Let's walk around some more. Out of the way, maid. And the last group. Yep, this is the last group.
Ah, so your mom moved to Arabonia? Yes, she couldn't stand Crossbow after splitting with my father, who's Calvardian. She's moved in with her relatives. That was 10 years ago. Time flies. Oh, I think you told me about this before. I feel like I'm forgetting something. That rings a bell, actually. Distant relatives of the noble MacDowell family from Crossbill. That would be the Barons of Eastern Lemaire, if I'm not mistaken. How did you... of course, you're from Lemaire yourself. You're right. Family trees can get so strong, you can't easily tell who's related to who. In fact, the Baron's family are also distant relatives of my family. Oh? Maybe that's why your hair color is the same? That pearl gray shade is definitely unusual. The two of you have almost the exact same shade. That's right. It runs in the family. We may be very distant cousins, but we share the same blood nonetheless. I had no idea. What a pleasant surprise. Aurelia Le Guin, a cousin. I'm glad to have you as my family, Ellie McDowell. Aw, that's so sweet. Uh-oh. Now I'll tense up every time I talk to Ellie. And why would that be, Miss Crawford? No reason. I suppose this hints at the close ties between Erebony and Crossbell, which stretch back centuries. Really? Crossbell's also been cooperating with Calvert for a long time. And now they're in this awkward position when they have to choose between one ally or the other. It feels so wrong. Oh, Alyssa. That's precisely the case. I probably don't have any right to say that, considering my own position. No, your honesty is much appreciated. It was wonderful to talk to you, Alyssa. Same. Thank you for all the advice, Ellie. It's really nice to be in the company of people who really get along. Yes, friendship is beautiful, isn't it? I heard about Ellie's mother, or at least someone who seemed like her, living in an Erebonian town. I guess that's what was nagging me at earlier.
Elisa and Ellie met in Crossbell and have been good friends ever since. Yuna's friends with both of them. She's an amiable girl. But I wouldn't have seen it coming that they'd be chatting with the principal. Alright, these two. Yeah. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Just catching up with friends. We've been exchanging messages since we met 3 months ago. We discovered that we have some shared interests. Shush! Ellie, don't tell him!
What interest? Why is Alyssa so cagey about it? Oh wait, I have an idea.
Never mind. Ellie, let's talk about that in private. Okay, we're in a similar situation anyway. I'm sure you have nothing to worry about. You'd be surprised.
Aw, they're
Both in love with clueless idiots. Next to them, I feel like a kid lost in the dark. He'll get there in time.
Schwarzer,
You could probably learn a thing or two about them as well. From them as well.
I'm not sure what the conversation was about, but I'm always reminded there's plenty of room for me to learn from others. Yep. Alright. And we are going here. It's an hour and 9 minutes already, but let's go. Let's continue a little bit more.
Can't find anything to do?
Hey, Duvali. Hello, Duvali the Swift. I was just wandering around.
You can drop the epithet. If you can be informal with Lloyd and Estelle, why not me?
It was just a slip of the tongue. Besides, there's not much of an age difference between the three of us. I feel like I should be more respectful when talking to you.
Are you implying that, from your viewpoint, I'm old?
No, definitely not. She's what, 23? She doesn't even look it. That is probably best to drop it.
Anyway, Lady Mildine has more influence in the higher echelons than I imagined. She's gathered prominent political figures, bracers, the support
the special sports section, and all of you under the same roof. When the Black Fang and the Angel of Slaughter are present. Huh, that's right. Do you know them from Ouroboros? Yes, I was familiar with the Blade Lord, who was often with them. Joshua Ashtray left Ouroboros around the time I joined. I see. That must have been when the Brights took him in. Hey, what you guys talking about? Swapping some sexy little secrets, I hope? Hey there, Stud Muffin. I mean Crow. Is that all you ever think about? How's the intel gathering, Crow? Well, Randolph's chatty as ever, but it's Joshua that's a real treasure trove of info. And isn't it kind of weird Vita's not here? Yeah, Emma seems confused about it too. You both know what she's like. Probably busy working on some grand scheme behind the scenes. Have you noticed tension in the air? Yeah, I guess. I think I know what you mean. It's not just you Awakeners that are particularly sensitive to it. Everyone gathered here seems to sense something ominous brewing. Whether there's any connection to Operation Mille Mirage or not, we're likely to find out at dinner. Yeah. There's the rivalries too. The calm before the storm might be over pretty soon. Would just be me, but we better be prepared. Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll see what happens. I'll keep my eyes and ears open and see what else I can learn.
My apologies for disturbing your pleasant conversation.
Cassius? No, Butler.
Dinner is now ready to be served. May I please ask you to proceed to the banquet hall?
Yeah, thanks. I hope this is not a long cutscene, because yikes. I remember the food here being pretty good. Yes, it was cooked by the finest chefs those Erebonian nobles could find. Those fish burgers of yours were quite delectable as well, I must admit.
Sometimes simple is the best.
I'm surprised you remember, honestly. That was a while ago, and they weren't anything special. Just a quick and easy meal. Hey, I've been looking for you guys everywhere.
So we're ready?
The dinner is about to start.
Great, I'm starving.
And the discussion that follows is the main course, isn't it?
That's right. It's more than just a social event.
Let's get going. It's right to keep good food waiting.
Alright. Let's see what this is all about.
If it prompts me to save, I'll end the episode. Continuing? Long loading.
Afterward, all the guests, including the leaders of each state, gathered together at the banquet. A modest but wonderful meal thus began, provided by Duchess Cayenne. The lunch started a bit later, but the guests thoroughly enjoyed the fare and had lively conversations. It was a unique opportunity for the attendees and many meaningful exchanges were made. Sometime later, enjoyable it was, the meal came to an end. Everyone then transitioned into the meeting portion of the event. The details of Mille Mirage were revealed.
What you see before you is an outline of Operation Mille Mirage, our response to Operation Jormungand.
I knew it.
It doesn't stray too far from what we'd expected, but even so.
Seeing it all laid out like this makes it overwhelmingly real.
I get that a plan this crazy is probably our only hope, but still, we're really gonna do this, huh?
The Empire has drastically increased its military might, due largely in part to the draft. Current estimates number their forces at 1.2 million strong, and that figure will only rise before the fighting actually starts.
On the other hand, Calvard's military can barely scrape together 800,000, at most. Even if they try to boost their ranks with a draft of their own, that probably won't go over too well, judging by their last election.
Yeah.
Not to mention the huge difference in weapons and resources between the two countries. In terms of both aerial combat fleets and core tank units, Erebonia has a clear advantage. And that's without taking Panzer Soldats into account.
Yeah. There's no way the Verne Company's production line could even hope to keep up. What's more, the Empire now has an excuse to throw all the new technology it's been developing into this war.
With that in mind, it's entirely possible that the Civil War was nothing more than an opening move.
I agree. It seems likely. The same could be said of the orbital shutdown phenomenon, or even the 100 Days War. It is our belief that these events were simply set up, all to pave the way for Operation Jormungand.
Damn it! Those monsters.
And Mille Mirage is your plan for how to hold back Operation Jormungand. We have with us the Republican Army of Calvard, the Royal Army of Liberl, the Remiferian and Viceland armies, as well as troops from Le Mans and Orid, and even resistance cells acting out of Crossbell in North Ambria.
You intend to coordinate every one of these individual forces united under a single banner to suppress the Imperial Army from all sides.
That's exactly right.
As you stated before, Calvard's armed forces total 800,000 strong. The Viceland army should bring that number up by about 100,000.
The Principality of Remiferia is prepared to lend its aid as well, to the effect of approximately 80,000 troops. Add to that figure an additional 120,000 from the Kingdom of Liberl.
Further, we can count on receiving around 20,000 soldiers from Le Mans and Orid combined, as well as another 10,000 from Crossbell in North Ambria.
Wow.
And this is to remain off the record, but we're expecting roughly 30,000 in reinforcements from Arteria as well.
Naturally, we plan on bringing Jaegers into the fight too. We've been scouting out Jaeger corps big and small. All in all, I'd say we're looking at a good 40,000 extra soldiers.
Altogether a combined total of 1.2 million. Finally putting us on even ground with Operation Jormungand.
A war like this would stretch over almost half the continent.
Resistance cells from Crossbell, huh? That must be Sonia and the others.
Yeah, Muriel told me a bit about it, but...
North Ambria too? That have something to do with the movements we heard about there?
Yeah. The resistance there is made up of former members of the Northern Jaegers, who got absorbed into the Imperial Army.
Sorry I'm quiet, this is pretty interesting though, and I'm trying to absorb all this.
And we got troops from Le Mans and Orid too. That would be their defense forces, no?
That's right. We've actually known about their involvement for a little bit.
I have to say, I'm surprised the High Seat of the Septian Church would choose to involve themselves so directly.
But Rosine mentioned something about this earlier, didn't she?
Yes. The Congregation for Divine Worship is likely deploying the Papal Guard as we speak.
The Imperial Army's technological superiority is undeniable, and we can't underestimate the threat Ouroboros poses either.
Yep.
Further, directing and coordinating all parties involved will prove a tremendously difficult task. That is the purpose of our meeting, to determine who will serve as the key piece in our plan, the cornerstone upon which we can build our success.
Cassius.
I present to you Cassius Bright, Lieutenant General of the Royal Army of Liberl, and, as of today, Supreme Commander of Operation Mille Mirage.
Smart move.
What?
Now that's what I call a power move.
Yep.
A natural decision. Lieutenant General Bright did head the search and destroy operations against the cult in Crossbell.
What's more, he can already boast having pushed back an Imperial invasion once before. He's the most brilliant tactician of our time, without a doubt.
I should have known.
So you've accepted the position then, Dad? Even after hearing everything that's going to happen as a result of this plan?
I have. This can truly be called the Great War, the likes of which mankind has never seen before. A war that will surely destroy the lives of all it touches, soldiers and civilians alike. Hundreds of thousands of lives. Worst comes to worst, we could see casualties in the millions.
Millions?
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
But at least it will keep the Empire from completely destroying everything.
Yeah, she has a point.
Yeah.
I think I speak for us all when I say this dreadful decision weighs heavily on our hearts. But there are stakes here far more dire than the invasion of Calvard itself. Namely, Erebonia's 2 Septarians, as well as its curse, which spreads further and further with every land it conquers.
It's all connected.
If we don't act soon, the Republic will fall to the Empire's advance, drowning the entire nation in its curse. It would then only be a matter of time before the surrounding countries fell as well, until finally all of Zemuria is in the curse's grasp. All for the sake of reviving the ultimate being, the Great One. This we must avoid above all else. If this dreadful decision is the only chance we have of saving our world, then so be it.
This is a lot to weigh
This whole
about.
catastrophe began in Erebonia. Though I can't personally agree to this plan, as a member of the Imperial family, I must allow it.
Your Highness.
Green.
This is the consensus we have reached. I trust you understand now the reason we've gathered here.
There are a few things we must ask you now. Namely, if you accept the necessity of our plan. And furthermore, if we can count on your cooperation.
I'm sure you'd like some time to talk things over amongst yourselves, and with your other allies as well. But as you can probably tell, that's time we just don't have.
Members of the Bracer Guild, Special Support Section, Class 7, and Thor's Military Academy as a whole. We need your answers, here and now. How do you respond?
SSS. Class 7. Thor's. Yeah, we have to. So? Everyone looking for Reen? Obviously, always the voice of reason. Okay. Okay, never mind.
When it comes down to it, we, the Special Support Section, are just a single division of the CPD. We're in no position to defy the will of a nation, let alone 4. We understand the severity of the situation, but be that as it may, we can't, in good faith, lend our aid to this cause. There has to be a better way to fix this mess we're in, and we won't back down until we figure out how. Not just to stop this war, but so that someday, Crossbell can take back its independence.
Well said, Lloyd.
I see.
You can count the Bracer Guild out of this deal, too. We're the supporting gauntlet of the common people. Their security and protection will always come first. But at the same time, we understand that you have to do this. So instead, we'll make sure to get in touch with our headquarters in Le Mans to organize an evacuation plan for all the citizens. And in the meantime, we'll look for our own way to resolve this. Just like the SSS. That's the Bracer Guild's decision.
Estelle.
All the protagonists. And Reen.
With so many of us still missing, we can't claim to speak for Thors as a whole. But we can, at the very least, tell you our decision as Class 7. Become the foundation of the world. In a sense, those words have shaped our class from the very beginning.
Good job, guys.
A war this big is certainly one way to keep the curse in check. We could be a new foundation afterwards. One built over ruins and destruction. But this curse is not absolute. Though it sweeps across the nation, toying with our fate, there are still those who stand together to resist it. We've seen as much with our very own eyes.
Our dear friends. All across.
We need a plan to try and ensure the safety of the world as we know it. Mille Mirage can be that plan. But, like the Guild and the SSS, we choose to find a third path forward for ourselves. That means dealing with any incidents brought about by the curse, as well as the rivalries. Whether or not that's even possible, I don't know. Time is running out on us even as we speak. Yet still, we'll continue to tread forward, step by step.
Well said. Don't make me tear up. Stop.
Because we owe it to Prince Olivert to find that third path he always strove to take.
Reen.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
The path Prince Olivert would have wanted.
Yeah.
I see.
My goodness. The naivete of youth never fails to astound me. And yet, as history shows us, it is precisely the young and foolish who bring change to the world.
So let's do it.
The same could be said of those not bound by duty or tradition. Come to think of it, Prince Olivert himself embodied every one of those qualities.
He most certainly did. And his spirit lives on in this next generation.
We'll bring his ideals to light.
We have heard your convictions, clear and true. Operation Mille Mirage is already underway. But so long as you respect our position, we will respect yours in turn.
You're under no obligation to participate in our plan. That said, we'd appreciate your help wherever possible. That includes exchanging information, keeping civilians safe, and so on.
We certainly have more room to cooperate than Operation Jormungand does at the very least. You Bracers played a pivotal role in solving the incidents in Liberl, as did the Special Support Section in Crossbell.
And Class 7 in Erebonia.
I eagerly await seeing what such seasoned heroes can bring to the table.
Hey, we're heroes too. Don't forget us.
Thank you. We won't disappoint.
I don't know if I'd call us heroes exactly, but we'll help out in any way we can.
All that suspense was killing me.
As grim as our circumstances are, we now know what our mission must be.
Right. We gotta do everything we can to stop this war before it begins.
Yes.
And even if it does, we'll just have to find a way to end it.
Right. Our first course of action is figuring out exactly what we can accomplish right now as members of Thors. I imagine the rivalries will play a key role in that.
Agreed.
You're all pretty gung-ho about this, huh?
How are you guys so relentlessly positive about everything?
That's just how we are.
It really is the most annoying thing about them, isn't it?
Campanella? Oh my god.
Wait a sec.
I know that voice.
It's him.
Enforcer number 0 of Ouroboros.
Campanella, show yourself.
Sounds like things are coming along nicely over here. Quite the illustrious guest list you have here. I'm almost starstruck.
Indeed. It would seem the rumors weren't unfounded.
Who? Oh, great. Bell.
The new third Anguis of Ouroboros.
Lady Mildine, my greetings to you and all the leaders of the world gathered here today. I see a number of familiar faces and some new ones too. My, how delightful.
I hate you.
You must be Dieter Croesus' daughter. I've heard the rumors of what you've become.
A member of an international terrorist organization. Gracious me, the audacity of this woman.
Whoa, he really called it, huh, Lady Belle?
Oh, great.
You're one to talk.
These two
Hey,
as well.
this is some party you guys got going on.
Real swanky joint, too. Shame for you, Zephyr's here to crash.
Surely, you...
Boss. That means Zeno and Leo are here too, doesn't it?
Sure does. But hey, we're not done with the lineup just yet. Don't think things will go the same for you here as they did at the workshop.
George?
Please excuse our intrusion.
Sharon.
George!
So you've come.
Lecter, it's really you.
In the flesh. Long time no see, ladies.
My lady, everyone, I apologize for interrupting such an important meeting.
You should have just kept the mask on, Angie. If you're all quite finished, it's time I make the final introduction.
Ah, idiot.
Your Highness.
You
Cedric.
douchebag.
Why are you...
Ah, if it isn't my dear sister, Alvin, and Class 7. Your little stunt in leaves caused me no end of headaches.
Good. Screw you.
You had it coming. That's what you get for getting Elise and Tio all wrapped up in your schemes.
That's simply how it works between us. You should understand this by now. The rivalries are no different. This particular matter has been entrusted to me by Chancellor Osborne himself.
Okay, whoop-de-doo.
Consider this a little congratulatory visit from us to celebrate the commencement of Operation Mille Mirage.
And they're
Were we just hacked?
Yep. They probably used the Society's astral code to infiltrate the system.
Courtesy of Belle and the Fool, I'd assume.
Sounds like we're in for a fair bit of trouble then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're coming.
They're here.
Damn, they brought Imperial warships.
No, not quite.
What then?
This is the bridge. We have an emergency. We've got 8 Crimson ships approaching on our 9.
Oh, great.
And with them, a 280 Arch-class airship.
What?
Damn. There's only one ship that friggin' massive.
The Societies, right?
You mean the one that appeared during the orbital shutdown? That's right. Ouroboros' pride and joy. The largest battleship in the history of mankind.
The Crimson Ark. The Glorious.
Damn it! Are you kidding me? We're going against the Glorious? Oh boy. Oh, this is not gonna be good. There it is. Holy hell. You again. You're all here. Great. Bring it on, douchebags. I'll clobber each and every one of you. Now here they go. Just drop it in. Oh boy. This has turned to be quite the wreck now. How are we gonna get out of this? 1 hour and 30 minutes this video. And I'm probably gonna leave it like that. I see. So it's just as the advanced warning predicted. Moreover, it's not one of the Empire's ships, but one of Ouroboros' aircraft carriers. What does that mean? It's as if they expected us. At the end of our meeting, Her Highness did make one prediction. That either the Imperial Air Force or Ouroboros' battle carrier would appear in these skies. Where's the Imperial? The Air Force, their progress down the path to violence would be deterred in a sense. The airspace is directly above the border, with the leader of each state on board. An attack on a ship would simply be too reckless. Even if it were successfully captured, this would still leave a massive effect on cross-national negotiations. And that would instantly bring a halt to the war. That's what she was betting on, wasn't it? Things turned out differently though. They opted for an Ouroboros affiliated ship instead. Since seeing the princess and the other leaders entombed here would just add fuel to the fire for war. No. Damn it. They're planning to pin it on Calvert, aren't they? This is no joke. We can't let this happen. Of course, I surround the honor of the Bracer Guild. You guys called us here knowing this would happen, didn't you? Correct, and it worked out perfectly. We still have an escape route available for our guests, so you needn't worry about that. Can I get each of you to divide your troops in half and have them accompany them to the hangar? Enemy forces are coming in from the deck. I'd like the remaining half to help take care of them. Let's divide into two groups then. One for starboard, one for port. Whoa, you guys prepare that far in advance? And if that's a command? We don't have time. Let's decide on the groups. Be sure to balance the teams well. Understood. Oh boy. Rain, Lloyd, and Estelle divided everyone into teams, making sure they keep them balanced. The result was a counteract led by mainly Reen in Class 7, Estelle, Joshua, Ren, Lloyd, Ellie, Tio, Crow, Dooley, and the others. The other members worked with Aurelia, making way for the hold while ensuring the safety of the national leaders. Oh, Team A. This is broken. So this is my, these are like the ones that I can't change. Okay. Agate. And let's go for Elliot. Right. Use this formation. Team B. Oh boy. I'm going for, oh. Characters can't be removed. Wow. Okay. And Fee, she's a dodger. I need her on the team. I'm sorry, Laura, but I need Fee. And she has so good dodge, so yes, use this formation. And the rest of them are just gonna take care of them. That's the guys and the girls, so they're divided into guys and girls. Okay.
Now, shall we get going?
Best of luck, all of you. You guys be careful, okay?
We will.
Wait, what in the world's going on? Whatever it is, it looks like we got a real juicy scoop on our hands.
Oh boy.
Oh, no you don't.
I believe you all know what it is you must do.
Yeah.
We got this. Just leave it to us.
Don't worry about it. You guys evacuate. We got this.
Now then, shall we move out ourselves? We are currently under attack by Ouroboros' enhanced Jaegers and members of the Red Constellation.
The Red Constellation, huh? Gonna be a real pain in the ass, especially with the Blitz there.
Yep.
Gilbert's probably heading up the enhanced Jaegers. Not that he's anything to worry about.
Sure.
His archaisms might still give us some trouble, though.
Speak for yourself. I'll make sure that little errand boy regrets ever stepping foot in here.
Thank you, Jubilee.
Ash, Kurt, I'll be counting on you.
You got it.
Understood. We must stop His Highness.
Yuna, Altina, we're going to need your support as well. Of course! Let's do this, Ellie!
I'll give it my best.
All right, guys. It's time to begin our joint operation.
All
Team
right,
A will
Lloyd.
go starboard. Team B, you head port. Our current position is the rear side of the lower deck. Let's make our way up to the top deck. Take out any intruders you find along the way.
Right!
Let's go. This cutscene sure is long. But you guys deserve it. It was a lot of
This will
talk.
be the perfect chance to put our teamwork to the test, huh? It's our time to shine, Reen. Let's go! Right. Show me what you've got, Lloyd.
Oh, this is to be so fun. Did we break up? You can switch between Team A and Team B this mission. Keep switching between the two teams to clear the way to the upper deck. Once you reach your destination, the teams will merge. Make sure all members are equipped and ready for battle. Okay, I need to do that. But I'm going to do that in the next episode. Long episode for you guys, but you guys deserve it after all the short and uneventful episodes. And I didn't want to make an episode of everyone just talking. Anyway, if you guys are enjoying these videos as much as I am, please leave a like, comment, and share. That always helps out against that pesky YouTube algorithm.
Okay.
Subscribe to join the Moonlight Army today. Hit that bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video. If you guys want to stalk me on my social media, the links will be in the description box below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So, take care guys. Bye-bye.